Taking a look at these foams I got with the new tires. As far as I'm concerned, in their current condition, they're basically unusable. But you know, I think I've got a plan in mind as to how to modify them a little bit and see if we can get something different going on that actually works for any application. You can see this one here, if I can catch the light just right. There we go. I got 16 marks on there, roughly evenly spaced. I use a grease pencil to put those on. And basically I've just made a cut, which is nothing new, straight in. And then after that, I'm going back in at about the halfway point in between the marks and making an angled cut. You can see I've marked the scissors so that the straight in cut, every time you put it on there, you line that up with the outside so you get the same depth every time. And then, like I said, I go back in and make a second cut, starting at the midway point at an angle and going to meet with the first cut. So we get a triangular wedge, which, you know, doesn't always cut perfectly clean the second time because the integrity of the foam, having been cut once already, you know, is a little weaker. Got to go in sometimes and trim with a razor like this, and then the chunk comes right out. Can see what that looks like. This is one I've done all the way around, and you get a different you know, feel overall, which is what I was hoping for, where this is much too firm. This is a lot less firm, feels a lot more usable, but ultimately in this direction is softer than in this direction. And so, you know, I'm kind of looking at these as like a directional foam where, you know, I could mount them inside the tire, you know, one direction in the front, one direction in the back, so that you have basically different, you know, support for the front and the rear. I'm not actually sure, you know, how well that plays out, but I'm going to put these in those mudslingers that I had originally, I think. Mount them up on some rims and chuck them on there, and then I'll have two complete sets of tires that I can, you know, swap back and forth, so we can compare the new setup I have with the memory foam that's just a basic single stage, and then I'll be able to swap these on and compare that to, you know, how the mudslingers are now performing, where I ran those originally with that same single stage memory foam. And of course, if these are something that, you know, miraculously drastically improves how those mudslingers handle crawling on rocks, really what the solution may be is to then put the memory foam back into the mudslinger, put these into what is the superior rock crawling tire, so then I have superior tire with superior foam, and, you know, ultimately increase my rock crawling ability even further, which would be pretty exciting stuff. You can see here, you know, I did all the straight cuts, and now I'm doing all the angled cuts and just working my way around the foam. I have not tested these. I have not tried this particular modification pattern on any foams previously, so I can't give you any feedback at this particular moment as to, you know, how well this is actually going to work. But since these foams were, you know, in my opinion, basically unusable as I got them, I got nothing to lose in trying something new with them. You know, rather than just throw them out, I might as well see if I can learn something, try a little experimentation And, you know, if it doesn't work out, then maybe I end up throwing them out afterwards. Maybe there's a use for, you know, some of this material for something else down the road. But ultimately, when it comes to stuff that, you know, in theory, because they came with the tires, I mean, I bought the set of 4 tires, it came complete with foams. By definition, I've paid for them. I'd like to try and get some use out of them for something. You know, this is a pretty quick process, in spite of the fact that with the density of the foam and the width of the foam, it is not the easiest thing to cut. You know, it tends to fight you a little bit, but it's still really not that bad. I haven't sped up the video or anything like that. I mean, this is real time that we're looking at, and I'm almost done with this one here. And you know, you already saw the first one I had. I've got 2 more to go after that. You know, stuff like this to me is, you know, it's all part of the hobby. It's experimentation. It's trying to improve your rig. And in my particular case, you know, I really enjoy improvements that also save me money or make use of things I already have on hand. You know, I'm not in that realm of people that is, you know, sponsored or getting anything for free or whatever. I'm, you know, very concerned with value for my dollar, which I think a lot of us are. You know, it can be an expensive hobby, especially if, you know, you're unwilling to try new things to make some stuff work. So, you know, I just figured I'd put this out there in case anybody else has a set of foams they've got kicking around that didn't work out for them, that, you know, maybe this makes them usable for you. I can't say one way or the other, but if you've modified foams in any particular way and had good results, you know, drop a comment down below. Let me know what tools you used, what pattern you used, etc. If you did things differently than this. I've never actually seen a directional foam, which, you know, kind of piqued my curiosity on this particular process. So once the new rims get here, I will throw them on. We'll get some running footage. We'll get some comparison footage, and, you know, we just have to go from there. But until next time, guys, have a great day. We'll see you next time.